students. In the last session we have discussed about the different types of the microscopes. It may be the optical microscope, scanning electron microscope, transmission electron microscope, or it may be the scanning probe microscopes. So in the same way, today we are going to have a detailed session on electron probe microanalyzer, which is similar to the scanning electron microscope. So this electron probe microanalyzer is only a difference with respect to the chemical analysis can be done in electron probe microanalyzer, whereas in scanning electron microscope we cannot do the chemical analysis. So that is only a difference with respect to the scanning electron microscope to the electron probe microanalyzer here. So this electron probe microanalyzer which we are going to see in 1958, which are made available by the French company called as Chemica. So this company have come up with this electron probe microanalyzer in the year 1958. So this electron probe microanalyzer, which is a non-destructive chemical analysis, non-destructive type of the analyzer it is, where it can analyze the chemical analysis of solid samples of minute particles. So this when we compare with the scanning electron microscope, whereas in electron probe microanalyzer we can analyze the chemical analysis can be analyzed. So that is what the difference we are having. And electron probe microanalyzer, it is using a micro beam instrument for the analysis of a local composition of solid samples here. Here in electron probe microanalyzer, where the micro beam instrument which is used primarily for the pursuit of non-destructive chemical analysis of a minute solid samples. And the same way, the electron probe microanalyzer is also informally called as electron microprobe, or it may be just a probe, it is also called as. So it is fundamentally the same as the scanning electron microscope, with an added capability of the chemical analysis, which can be which can go for the analysis of chemical analysis. So the electron probe microprobe operates under the principle that if a solid material is bombarded by an accelerating and focused electron beam, the incident electrons have sufficient energy to liberate both matter and energy from the sample here. So electron probe microanalyzer, when we see the principle as well as working of these analyzers, when we compare with the scanning electron microscope, both are of similar here. So the electrons which are being generated from the electron gun will be imparted, or which hits the sample, so or it scans the sample. When it scans the sample, we are going to have a diffracted rays. It may be the backscattered electrons, or it may be the secondary electrons, or it may be the characteristics X-rays. So the electrons which are being diverted, or it may be deflected, or some of the electrons are being absorbed by the electrons of the specimen. So at that time we see the different secondary electrons, or it may backscatter electrons. So these electrons are being analyzed, which are being detected by the detectors, and which are being used for the analysis here. So the analysis is done by using these rays to get the sample, to get the analysis of the sample here. So that is what we are having. An electron microprobe operates under the principle that if a solid material is bombarded by an accelerated and focused electron beam, the incident electron beam have sufficient energy to liberate both matter and energy from the sample. So these electron samples interactions mainly liberate heat, but they also yield both the derivative electrons and X-rays. So derivative electrons and X-rays are nothing but here the secondary electrons, or it may be the backscattered electrons, or it may be the characteristics X-rays. So these are the derivatives which we are going to have. So this quantized X-rays or characteristics of the elements, So electron microprobe analyzer is considered to be a non-destructive, so it is possible to have reanalysis of the same material more than one time. So it is a non-destructive what we are having. Because of that, we have to go more than one time for the analysis of the components here. So I will explain the working principle of this one very easily. So we are having an in the figure we can see we are having an electron probe. We are having a we are going to see the backscattered electrons detector, or it may be the dispersive element, X-ray detector, that is the characteristic X-rays. Backscattered electrons we are having the secondary electrons detector for the detection of secondary electrons. In the same way, energy dispersive X-ray detector also we are having. So here the working is similar to the scanning electron microscope. So in the electron gun, what we call it as an electron source. So in the electron source, we are going to have a cathode filament that is of tungsten, or it may be the lithium material, barium material. So when a voltage is applied for this high voltage, the electrons are being generated from the cathode filament. So when the electrons are being generated from the cathode filaments, where the bombardment takes place with respect to the metal in that an electron source. So when the bombardment takes place, the high energy electrons are being emitted from that tungsten filament. So when these high beam electrons which are being generated from this tungsten, which moves towards the cathode, which moves towards the anode. So where the anode makes all these electrons to be in a perfect way, and it sends to the electromagnetic lenses. So we are going to have electromagnetic sensors, we are going to have objective sensors, condenser lenses. We are going to all these are with respect to the electromagnetic one. So the electrons which are being generated from the electron gun or the electron source, which comes and hits towards the sample here. So it hits towards the sample, or it may scan the sample. So at a 360 degree, or in the the atom by atom, the electron beam which analyze or which goes for the analysis of all these with respect to this. So with respect to sample. So when the electron beam scans or hit towards the sample, we are going to see the scattering of the electrons here. So when it hits towards the sample, some of the electrons are being absorbed by the specimen, some of the electrons are being deviated, or it may be deflected. So when the deflection takes place, we are going to see the deflection with respect to backscattered electrons. So the backscattered electrons which are being deflected, those are being analyzed by the detectors. So in the same way, some of the electrons which hits towards the sample, due to the high energy of the electrons which hit to the sample, which hits to the specimen. So in the valence cell, when a high electron beam hits towards the electron of the cell, the low energy electron will move out of the cell here. So when it moves out of the cell, the empty space we are going to see in the cell. So this empty space will be take over by the high electron beam from the other cell. So we are going to have a K, L, M and N, like this. We are going to have a cell. We are going to have a valence electrons which are being placed in the cell. So the low energy electrons will be kicked by the high energy electrons. So when the high energy electrons which pushes the low energy electrons, the gap will be made in the cell here. So the gap we are going to have. So the high energy electron from the other cell, from the outer cell will take over the space of this empty space, which take over the empty space, so that at that time we are going to see the emission of the characteristics X-rays. characteristics X-rays, as well as due to the high energy of the electron when it hits towards the sample, some of the electrons will be emitted from the specimen. So some of the emitted electrons are nothing but the secondary electrons which are being emitted. At that time, the high energy electron will be absorbed by the specimen, and it makes other electrons to emit from the specimen here. So that is nothing but the secondary electrons. So secondary electrons which are being emitted will be detected by the detectors. So in the same way, the X-rays which are being emitted due to the empty space at that time, we are going to see a characteristics X-rays which are being emitted from the specimen here. So that X-ray characteristics X-rays are being that are being detected by using the X-ray detector here. So all the data which are being detected by the detector will be accumulated, and the data are being stored in the computer for the processing, and by that we can analyze the specimens here. So in the same way, we are going to see the three modes of scanning in this electron probe microanalyzer. So the three modes are nothing but here, that is the elastic scatterings we see. In the same way, we are going to have inelastic scatterings as well as Bremsstrahlung emissions we are going to see. What do mean by this is elastic scattering is nothing. Elastic scattering is nothing but it is similar to the backscattered electron. So when the electron probe electrons which hit towards the sample or the specimen, the electrons will be deflected. That is, the direction of the incident beam, the direction of the incident beam only changes with respect to this. Other than this, nothing will changes here. That is what we call it as an elastic scattering. So the incident beam will deflect, and we see the backscattered electrons we are going to see. So that is what the elastic scattering. And inelastic scattering is nothing but the X-ray characteristics here. So that is it may be the emission of the secondary electrons, or it may be the emission of the X-ray characteristics X-rays. So that we call it as an inelastic scatterings we call it as. And Bremsstrahlung emission is nothing but some of the electrons, that is high beam high energy electrons, will be absorbed by the specimen, and after absorbing it may give us, or it may emit some of the other electrons, or it may only absorbs the energy or the electrons by the specimen. So that we call it as Bremsstrahlung emission here. So this is what we are having with respect to the electron probe microanalyzer. So this is the working principle of this electron probe microanalyzer. So it is similar to the scanning electron microscope. In the scanning electron microscope also, we are going to have the same working principle. Here also we are having a same working principle. The only difference is in the analysis of the components, so or the specimens. So in a scanning electron microscope, we cannot go for the analysis of the chemical samples. So here we can go for the chemical analysis of the chemical samples here. So I will once again I'll explain here in a detailed way. So the electrons which are being generated by the electron source by the thermonic emission, by the cathode, the electron beams which are emitted will pass towards the anode, as well as electromagnetic lenses, objective lenses, condenser lenses. It goes towards the sample here. So it hits the sample. When it hits or it scans the sample, we are going to have an emission of secondary electrons from the specimen, or some of the electrons will be absorbed by the specimen. Some of the electrons will be deviated when the incident X-ray when the incident electron beam hit towards the sample. The direction may changes, that is, it will deflect, and we can see the backscattered electrons. In some cases, due to the high electron beams, when it hits towards the electrons of the inner cell of the specimen, so the electron shifting takes place. So the electron shifting, that is, the low energy electron will shift from the outer cell and it moves out of the cell, whereas the high energy electron from the outer cell will take over the place of the emitted electron. So where the emitted electron place empty space it is there, so that place will be taken over by the high electrons from the outer cell. So outer cell will consist of high energy electrons, whereas inner cell consists of the low energy electrons here. So when a high electron beam or the high electron beam, when it hits towards the low electrons, so the electrons will be come outside the outer cell here. come out from the outer cell. So the space will be created there. So the high energy electron which are from the outer cell, from the outer cell, will take over the place of the inner cell here. So at that time we are going to see the emission of the characteristics X-rays are being emitted here. So these characteristics X-rays are being detected by the X-ray detector. Secondary electrons which are being emitted in the same case will be detected by the secondary electron detector, and the X-rays which are been emitted will be detected by the X-ray detector, that is the energy dispersive X-ray detector will be detected. So by combining all these data are will take over to the digital form, that is for the computer, where the data can be analyzed to get the result of the specimen here. So this is the working of the electron probe microanalyzer. So when we compare with the scanning electron microscope towards this electron probe microanalyzer, we are going to have the best application with respect to this. We can go for the chemical analysis as well as geographical materials can be analyzed by using this electron probe microanalyzer, as well as electron probe microanalyzer which can be used for the analysis of optical wafers, or it may be the thin films, microcircuits, or it may be the semiconductors as well as superconducting ceramics can be analyzed by using this electron probe microanalyzer. So in the same way, we are having some of the limitation with respect to this, that is an electron probe is primarily a tool for the chemical analysis of a solid material at a small spatial scales. So smaller it should have a small spatial scales we should have. So larger or the bigger materials cannot be analyzed by using these electron probe microanalyzers. In the same way, the spot chemical analysis can be obtained, which allows the user to detect even small compositional variations within textural context or with the chemically zoned materials. Chemically zoned materials can be analyzed by using can be analyzed by using this material. So we are having some of the strength with respect to this, that is when we see the strength, that is the advantages. When we see the advantages of this, the electron probe microanalyzer can be used for the analysis of chemical components or the compounds, or it may be the material or sample with a small scale, small number, that is the quantity of in the small can be analyzed, as well as we can have a textural context can be analyzed, or it may be the composition, texture, surface can be analyzed by using this electron probe microanalyzer. So, but the only thing of the disadvantage or the limitation with respect to this electron probe microanalyzer is it cannot be analyzed the lighter elements. For example, we are going to have helium, or it may be the lithium, or it may be the hydrogen. Like this, these elements cannot be analyzed by using this electron probe microanalyzer. So lighter elements cannot be analyzed. So we should have a heavier material so that it can be analyzed. So micro probe analysis also cannot distinguish between the different valence state of iron. So different valence state of the iron cannot be analyzed by using this electron probe microanalyzer. So these are the disadvantage of this electron probe microanalyzer. So this is what we had a session today with respect to electron probe microanalyzer. So this is the last topic with respect to the module 4 of nano material and its characterization techniques. So in the characterization techniques, it is the last technique what we had today in our session. So this completes our 4th module. So from next session, I am going to start with the 5th module, which is with respect to automation. So automation and its programming, with respect to that, I am going to have in from my next session. So till today's session, the module 4 had been completed. And with respect to this, I have already given the assignments with respect to this. So all the students should submit their assignments within the time, as well as I am going to have next module assignment with respect to that. So complete all your assignments within the date and submit as soon as possible. As well as from my next session, I am going to start with the next module, which is automation. Thank you, students.